Okay, this video is about processing core deposits on creditor invoices. So this is when you're buying a part from a supplier and you have to pay a core deposit, and you expect to get that deposit back when you return the core item to them. So a couple of things which I'll just show you for a start. In the stock master file, I have my part, which is the K76 coder, and I buy and sell these, and generally I buy these for around $180 and I sell them for around $300, and I usually buy them from a creditor called the Recon Master, who reconditions the items. Now, you also have to be aware of which account in your system the deposits get processed to, and the easiest way to do that is to look into your GL control accounts, and you may need to log in under your setup or setup pro login to see this, and it's control type number 2 at the top here, and the account which is used is account 2090. So let's look at our situation here. We need to go and purchase a K76 coder, and we've got a customer who needs one of these supplied to them, and we do expect to get the core item back to Recon Master as well. So let's do a creditor invoice here, and we're going to actually purchase one of these things. So very straightforward. We do the Recon Master creditor invoice, and it's on invoice 12345, and the total which we are being invoiced, sorry, just get rid of that. The total we're being invoiced by Recon Master is $220, and that's because we have to pay the $200 up front, and we get the $20 back on us returning the core, and plus the GST. So let's put the code in here, so the K76, and it's one of these, and the amount we're being charged for is $200, and that puts the 220 here. Now the unit deposit on the item is $20. So basically what we have now is the invoice for $220, but we want to just keep track here of the deposit and make sure that the correct cost gets allocated, which is $180. So we process that item there, and we've now got that in stock. So if we go look at the stock master file, we've got one of these units on hand, and at an average cost of $180 and the last cost of $180. So it doesn't, just let that do its thing. It doesn't record it at 200, it records it at 180. Now what's important to note is that the general ledger here in account 2090, which was our deposits, we see in here when we look at the transaction history that the deposit for Recon Master is sitting there. Now what we can do is, just as normal, I'm just going to use a parts invoice in this case on a cash sale. I'm actually going to sell that K76 coder, and I'm going to sell it for the $360 for the cash customer, which is the system price there, and hand that over to the customer and take my payment. So everything at this point works completely as normal because I'm selling the reconditioned item to the customer, and that could have gone on to a job also. Now in the stock master file, if we have a look at that again, we've got none on hand. If we look at the stock history, we can see the acquisition for 180 and the sale out to the customer for 360. So everything's fine there. Now we've got the core item now in our hand, which is the old broken K76, which came back in from the customer, and we've packaged that up and sent that off back to Recon Master, and Recon Master have provided us back with the $20, either as cash or as a credit note, or however they're crediting us back for that amount. Now if we look at the creditor master file for Recon Master, we'll see here in the history that it's showing as $220, because they did bill us the full amount at that stage, and we were expected to pay $220 until we've returned that that core unit. Now what we need to do to pick up the return of the core item is come into Recon Master and credit 12345. No, I just made that up. You'll have a real amount, of course, $22, which is the 20 plus the GST, and I'm processing a credit. Now you might think here I need to pick the part code up again. I don't pick the code up here. I go to General Ledger tab and I put in 2090, and I can put in here a remark if I like, which might be return of core K76 coder, just so I know what it was for. $20, and important I put in the GST applicable here and just tab through. And what that does, processing that through, is it's going to change the balance here, which we actually owe for Recon Master, back to 198, which is the 180 we paid for the core item in the end, plus the $18 GST, and then that ties back in with the 180 profit here, also cost of sale, which gives us the correct profit on sale of that K76 coder to the end customer. Now paying the creditor, if we're doing a creditor payment, pick those guys up there. We obviously only want to pay them $198 in the end, because the credits come back for the core deposit. If we had have paid them the $20 at the time, we could have basically receipted in here the $20 from them, which might have come back as cash or a check or whatever. But it's probably most likely you're running a trade account with them and you're only having to pay the $98. All you need to do is just tick off the two items here, and that clears the amount out. So we only paid the 198 because we got the credit back on the core item. So you don't need to do anything fancy with reverse orders or anything like that. Just keep it simple. We could have done a straight parts stock order for that one part if we needed to, and then turn that into a creditor invoice. Everything in that regard is exactly the same. So the key difference is just when you're doing that creditor invoice, it's that unit deposit field there, which we pulled up. I'll just pull it back on the screen so we can see. So Recon Master there. Get the core deposit in so you get the correct landed price, and that allows you to have the correct total amount there which you're selling for.